Well, so much of I think the like when I hear people talk about all thing, right? Oh yeah, we need one. I always go back to the why, right? Why do we want an all thing? And is this just another excuse or reason for a bunch of people to get together and have vendors and classes and stuff like, well, those things already exist. Like there are plenty of public events that happen, at least here in the United States. I know I've got people that listen in other parts of the world and watch this that are not in our respective area. But those are their own things. I mean, we use the word thing to to describe this legal assembly, but they are things in their own respective way. If it's a public event where everybody can come and have a good time and meet and network, um, that is a thing, right? It's an assembly. Um, but I think if we're gonna stay true to the term all thing, then are we obligated to look at what all thing was in arch heathen times or in pre-Christian times and determine whether or not that framework applies to us in modern times? Is there this need or this sense of governance, or and maybe that's maybe that's a heavy way of putting it, but you know what I'm trying to say, like what the purpose of all thing was at the time that it was happening and what it was for. Does it meet with a need that is present now and today?
I guess, gosh, there's so many ways I can answer that. Um,
It's a bit
you know,
rhetorical, but if you have an answer, yeah.
yeah, if it's the Saxons, it was their tribal assembly
Yeah.
because they had to unite together to fight the Christian Franks.
And
I
they
mean,
had that back then, right?
right.
There were Saxon, they were the tribe. What do we have nowadays? Well, we've got, it's different, it's such a different time and a different
I
construct. So
have
sorry,
this
sorry to cut you off, but
no, oh, it's totally okay. I have this odd belief too that kings turning into from the heathen clan leader to the Christian dictator type king did heathenry in because the most famous Saxon rebel Widukind, who kept trying to fight wars to keep the Saxons heathen and free, he went to the Danes and said, "Look, you're next. If we fall, ally with us." CinemaSins, if you know that YouTube channel, CinemaSins, they'd say,
yeah.
I don't really like Star Wars because when it's 1-on-5, the hero fights each person one at a time and all five don't hit. The
Hmm.
Christians had some luck that the heathens were too reluctant to call things. So when you say, should we have an all thing? I really believe historically, if the heathens formed a coalition, decided to put aside tribal differences, whatever differences the Danes and the Saxons had, they were good enough to. Wittekind married the daughter of a Danish king, but yet the Danish king wouldn't use his armies to help defend Saxony with Wittekind. So why? Like if
Mm.
they were able to put aside their differences, would it have made a bigger difference? I honestly think, historically having that belief today, I guess because I've seen so much online drama, I'm very slow to try to unite into larger than regional groups. But let's use another example. Let's use, well, I hesitate to use it. It's the first one that's coming to mind. You have the Universalists and your Folkists. So when the Universalists decided to do Declaration 127, did they all hold a thing? Or was it one person's idea that caught on like wildfire? Because if it was done with a thing, imagine how powerful that would have been.
Oh wow.
And did the AFA in their response decide to ignore it through an all thing of all the AFA? You know what I mean? Because
Hmm.
AFA did ignore it. And that is a response.
Hmm.
Okay. Was that McNallen driven or did he hold an all thing? And was that their, I think when you do things with a group and it's not coming a dictator pushing it down, and that it's decided at thing with prayer to the gods, offerings, and a community working together, there is so much power in that.